Hello friends, welcome back with fall officially around the corner. I'm really excited to dive into the top 12 wearable fashion trends that I am excited to incorporate into my upcoming fall wardrobe. The trends that you can incorporate in today's video are all very wearable for everyday normal life. I am definitely not the high fashion runway streets of New York type of girly, if you couldn't tell over here. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have worn the same stud earrings pretty much every day since 2008 over here. So I like to stick to classic, timeless, feminine pieces here on my channel to build my personal wardrobe. But at the same time, I do also find it really fun to look at the upcoming trends for the season to see what is more wearable and classic for me to incorporate, just to give my wardrobe a little bit of a fresh update, but also to see what's going to be in store and what's going to be more readily available to build my upcoming wardrobe. So in today's video, I'll be sharing the top 12 fashion trends that I am excited about for the upcoming fall season. And then I'll also be sharing some exact pieces that I'm really inspired by or that I maybe am adding to my fall wish list down in the description box below. When it comes to trends, I especially love to try things out at a more budget-friendly price point before investing a little bit more. So I will have different price points all in the description box below. If this is your first time joining me for a video, I just wanted to say a quick hello. My name is Amanda, and I have been sharing fashion videos here on my channel with a focus on classic feminine fashion. I am a soon-to-be mom of 2 girls. We're expecting baby number 2 hopefully next month. She'll make her appearance, but we'll see when she's ready. And here on my channel, I love to share weekly fashion videos at different price points. I love to mix high and low from retailers like Amazon and Walmart and show you ways to elevate them and make them look more classic and expensive. I also love to share fashion tips and styling tips and how to properly care for things and just little tips and tricks throughout my try-on hauls as well. So if you're into that type of content, definitely subscribe for more videos from me, and let's jump into the wearable fall fashion trends. One thing I am definitely noticing is I lean a lot more into what's trending and more of the accessories, and I think that's a fun way to add in trends because it lets you wear your basics that you already have in your wardrobe, but incorporate more fresh new ideas with accessories. So to start things off, let's talk about what is currently trending in handbags. For the past few years, we have seen mini micro bags, and I'm glad to see that those are finally slowly making their way out. Of course, they still have a purpose for evening wear or fun little events here and there, but they are not super practical. So this fall, we're transitioning into a much more wearable everyday handbag. And the specific style to look for this upcoming season is more slouchy and especially suede textured handbags. Suede is making a huge comeback. I feel like it's also a very classic thing that you tend to see more and more during the fall season. At the same time, it is skyrocketing in popularity, specifically in handbags. The most popular style that you'll be seeing this upcoming season is more of a slouchy, hobo styled shoulder bag, which I feel like is super wearable. I have already been seeing them a lot starting with the Nordstrom sale this year. I have added a lot to my wish list as well at some different price points, so I'll share those below. What's nice about this style is you get a lot more room out of it, but it still remains comfortable, especially if you get one with a nice thicker strap. Speaking of handbags, I did start outlining a future video talking about my personal favorite most worn handbags in my collection and how to pick the right handbag. So if you are on the market for handbags, stay tuned for that because it will be coming out in the next week or so. All right, let's talk about what is currently trending in the footwear or shoe category. I have been seeing Mary Janes everywhere. We actually started seeing this earlier in the year as well with a lot of kind of open knit woven textures. They have definitely been the most popular shoe that I've been seeing throughout the summer season. Those obviously won't work too far into the fall season because they're not going to keep your foot very warm. So for the upcoming fall season, look for the same silhouettes and styles in more rich leathers, lots of animal print, specifically leopard is having a huge moment. I'm also seeing a lot more of a thicker belt buckle or like a double buckle, which one thing to keep in mind with that is it will be a little more high maintenance to get off and on your foot depending on how many buckles you want to go for. So just a little heads up there. But I think this is very wearable and definitely something that we will be seeing at all different price points. I have seen options from Old Navy, Walmart, Target, and also pricier options, of course, at Nordstrom, depending on how much you're willing to invest in this trend. And then we're also going to be seeing a lot more slouchy styled boots. For the past few years, it's been a little bit more on the polished side, more structure that we're seeing, but now we're slowly transitioning into a more slouchy, casual look and feel, especially with knee-high boots or booties. As a millennial, slouchy boots are not anything new to me. I specifically remember this very popular style. It was like this flat, slouchy boot. I had one in like black and gray that I wore all the time with my leggings. So if you still have those, they're making a comeback, but I am seeing more of a wider silhouette or boots that have more of a kitten heel type of look to them. And I think that's also stemming from the slouchy kind of suede materials that we'll be seeing a little bit more this upcoming season. Loafers are definitely nothing new when it comes to fall fashion trends. I do think we're starting to move away from the chunkier, super thick sole, thankfully, because I am not a big fan of a chunky shoe personally. This isn't my favorite trend on the list, but I do think it is something that is very wearable. I personally just like a little bit more of a girly look to my everyday style. No surprise there, I'm sure, for those of you who have been around on my channel. Kind of circling back to the suede trend, of course, suede with boots are also very popular, but also you'll be seeing a lot more fringe details as well. And again, as a millennial, I immediately think of when fringy, like Minnetonka, I think was the brand, boots were super popular. We're not going with that route, but just little fringy details on the side of the boot or around the top of the boot, even on handbags, is another little detail that will be trending for the upcoming season. Kitten heels and slingbacks are also here to stay for the upcoming season, which is great because they are a lot more comfortable, but you do have to be careful with kitten heels because a lot of them end up being very wobbly and actually harder to walk in than a super high heel from my personal experience, which is so weird. But with that being said, I feel like we've gone from platform styles to the kitten heel, and I think we're gonna be moving even more into flat styles. So riding boots, they may not be like the #1 boot this year, but I think they will be continuing to make a big comeback in the upcoming next season or two, especially with how popular the kind of English countryside trend has been for the past year. Hunter boots are making a comeback. Those are definitely something that you could continue to wear into the fall season with that English countryside look, which I think is very chic. Polka dots and gingham were both really popular during the summer season, and those will continue to be really popular into the fall season, especially in more fall tones. A lot of black and white polka dots, navy and white polka dots. And then for ginghams, instead of doing something more light blue or those lighter colors, I'm seeing a lot more in chocolate specifically, which we will talk about chocolate here next. So if you added some of those pieces in from your summer wardrobe, good news, you can continue to wear them as a trendy piece into the fall. All right, let's just get chocolate out of the way. That is probably one of the most popular neutral colors that you will be seeing this season, which makes me very happy as someone who doesn't lean towards a lot of black in my wardrobe. I did pull out my chocolate sweater that I picked up in the Nordstrom sale this year. This was a bestseller in the sale this year. They did restock it, so I will link it down below. Basically, chocolate is the new black this year. What's great about chocolate is you can look for different tones of chocolate. There'll be some that's for the most part, chocolate will lean more warm, but you can find it in more cool tones for those of you who like to wear more cool tones, depending on your season, if you're into that type of thing. So that's one good thing about going for chocolate over black. Another really popular color this upcoming season is purple, and not necessarily just in the expected wines and burgundies, which I am here for the burgundy comeback. I feel like burgundy is a classic, but at the same time, it's even more popular this year. For the past few seasons, we've seen lots of wine, but it's definitely going a little bit more towards a deeper red, burgundy maroon type of color, which I am really excited to incorporate this upcoming season. I think chocolate, maroon, and my go-to blush are going to be one of my go-to combos. But it's not just that classic wine burgundy tone that you're seeing purples. There also are still a lot of vibrant bright purples in the mix and even bright oranges in the mix this upcoming year. Kind of briefly touch on this, but animal print is making a full-on comeback. I have especially seen this in a lot of different accessories, especially in footwear. Seen it in heels, definitely in the Mary Jane flats. I feel like everyone's doing a leopard Mary Jane flat for the season. Another way you can make this a little more wearable on a budget is adding in an animal print silk scarf, which silk scarves have actually been trending as well. It can definitely be a little bit trickier to style, especially if you have a pretty like casual basic type of wardrobe, but they are a fun way to kind of add in some more pops of color and just a little bit more style to what would be a basic look. You could just simply tie it around your neck. You could add it to your handbag, or you can be super chic and put it on your hair with like some chic sunglasses. I don't see myself doing that, but I like strive to be the girl that could do that, you know? Does that make sense? But I don't think that would fly where I live. Like I would kind of feel ridiculous leaving the house in that. And then to go along with the continued popularity of the English countryside, I feel like that kind of stems from the fisherman vibe that was trending for summer. Plaids are always in for fall. Plaids are pretty much guaranteed to always be in for fall. It's just one of those classic tonal pieces. And I'm not talking about like plaid flannel shirts, but more of like incorporated into coats. Like last year, I know there was a gingham trench coat. It was lined with gingham print on the inside, so you could just see it cuffed on the sleeve. That was super popular. So those types of little details are how to add that trend in without feeling outdated. When it comes to coats, I feel like we're finally moving away from that super oversized, like Hailey Bieber blazer, oversized blazer era, and we're moving into more of a tailored look. But as a twist, I think you'll also be seeing a lot more of a cape style and drapey sort of silhouettes this year. I've also sort of seen like cape sweaters starting to make an appearance as well. So that could be something that incorporates that trend as well outside of the coatwear or outerwear category. I think capes are very chic, but honestly not the most practical piece, especially as a piece to invest in. An unexpected fashion trend when it comes to more of like a styling trend is adding belts over dresses, sweaters, and even your outerwear. So if your outerwear comes with like a wrap coat, for example, what's trending is adding more oversized or like multiple belts over top of it to kind of cinch in the waist, which I personally love because I always like to accentuate my waist. I'm not as much of an oversized type of girl. I like to have more structured, tailored looks. So I think that is a fun and really easy way that you could pull belts that you already have in your wardrobe just to add a newer, fresh kind of take to things that you already have. For my fellow girly girls, I have seen a lot of lace detailing. It's kind of more of like a Victorian style lace edge details that I have been seeing over and over again, especially when it comes to midi skirts. I've seen a lot more lace details around the hemline or just lacier tops kind of coming back. I love that mix of like a feminine lacy top styled with like the suede, for example. I think that'd be a really nice chic combo for the upcoming season. I also think that we'll be seeing more shorts styled into the fall season. I feel like for the past few seasons, it's been all about the micro short, which is not super wearable to me as a mom in my 30s. I can't say I've jumped on that bandwagon whatsoever. I also haven't jumped on the boxer trend bandwagon, which I'm sure will still be around. But something I do see myself potentially trying out is like I don't know, I'd have to be very like careful with it, but like a silkier short I think would be really chic paired with like a cashmere classic sweater, for example. I could see like a little bit of like a lace trim detail incorporated into that. So I've added that to like a potential fall wish list, but it will definitely depend on how flattering like silky shorts could be. But I find that a lot more wearable than a micro short. And then as far as another texture that you'll be seeing more and more is faux fur. So not so much like the teddy coats and even the shearling details that we've seen the past couple of years. We're definitely moving into more of a faux fur look, which again, as a millennial, like, hello, we were the generation, not the generation, okay? I know trends like constantly make their comeback, but I'm a millennial, so I'm just talking with my experience. Our faux vest era. I don't know if that's necessarily the trend, but more of like the full faux fur coat type of look, especially if you are shopping vintage for that. Kind of reminds me of like Rachel Zoe boho vibes. Or you could obviously go faux fur as well. I would love to hear the fashion trends that you are most excited to wear down in the comments below. I feel like people can get a little opinionated when it comes to fall trends, what's in, what's out. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed this video or just want to support my channel, don't forget to hit the like button. That helps me out in the algorithm. And stay tuned for a lot more fall fashion videos coming your way. I'm currently working on my updated fall fashion essentials video, as well as my most worn handbags video. So stay tuned for those in the next week or two. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on Thursday with my next one. Bye.